Chapter 15. Our vocabulary words for Chapter 15 are losers, weepers, which is an idiom. If someone finds something, they are entitled to keep it, even if it belongs to someone else. Losers, weepers, I'm thinking page 94. Lugging is a verb. Carry or drag a heavy or bulky object with great effort. For lugging boxes and sniffing dust and almost breaking my neck on top of a ladder. Page 95. Now we're going to go into chapter 15. The day before we're supposed to go clean for Miss Nettie again, Miss Nettie calls me and says she made a mistake. She paid us too much money for cleaning her place. Losers, weepers, I'm thinking. Then Miss Nettie starts talking about how she has to hold off on paying her gas bill because her money is short and how she can't use her light so she can save on electricity. I want to say, dang, you act like you gave us $1,000. But Miss Nettie's on a fixed income. Her money is tight. I hold my tongue. How much you want back, Miss Nettie? I asked, hoping she would just get off the phone. You girls did such a nice job, she says. You can keep $10 each. $10 for all that work? For lugging boxes and sniffing dust and almost breaking my neck on top of a ladder? Ain't no way, lady, I say in my head. Then I tell her I'll talk it over with Janae. When Janae and I talk it through, I realize I never should have bothered mentioning it to her in the first place. Janae tells her grandmother, who says we should clean Miss Nettie's house out of the goodness of our hearts. No way. I don't work for free. So we give Miss Nettie $15 back and tell her we can't clean for her no more. Janae's grandmother says she knows somebody else looking to hire us. I tell Janae I ain't listening to her grandmother no more. But when she says the person owns an elderly care home and don't mind spending money, I straighten up. We can give your grandmother one more chance, I guess, I say, thinking about all the money we can make. At school, Zora acts like she's mad at me. She don't invite me over to her house or nothing. I'm thinking it's cause my mom and her dad. I guess she don't like what's happening no more than I do. For the next few days, I stay clear of Zora. But going straight home to an empty place ain't my thing. So today I go with May to her her folks' food truck is parked a few blocks from school. That way her parents get kids from our school, the college crowd, and the high schoolers 2 blocks away. May is embarrassed working on that food truck. She got to serve food to the same kids she sit next to in class all day, and she's got to hear them make fun of her dad English or her mother's weight. To make matters worse, kids is always loud-mouthing her daddy. This ain't the right chain, JoJo Miller, says to Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim takes the money and counts it out for JoJo again. Right, he says. Here is the quarter I owe you. Y'all always trying to get over on us, JoJo says, walking away. May's mother goes over to Mr. Kim. She rubs his back with her soft brown hands and says something to him in Korean. English, speak English, May yells, rubbing her eye. And you ain't even Korean, she snaps at her mom. Why you talking that talk? May can speak and understand Korean too. When she was little, her dad took her and me to a Korean church for language lessons, but after a few weeks, the man who ran the place asked him not to bring them back, said they didn't fit in. After that, Mr. Kim taught them at home. May says he just wasted his time. She ain't never gonna speak a word of that stuff. May really's got an attitude now. She puts on her headphones and turns up the music on her CD player. Something happens to May when she's around her parents. She gets so mean. Mr. Kim is a proud man, a nice man. He wouldn't hurt or cheat on anybody, but the kids around here are just plain mean to him. May don't treat her father no better, but she checks herself when she's around me, because he don't play that. Mean got his leather coat open and an apron hanging around his neck. He's standing by his father. When someone orders rice and vegetables with hot sauce or black bean sauce and noodles like the next guy line, Mean repeats their order in Korea. One bimbap and jengong ming, he says, grabbing a piece of cornbread and a napkin and sticking it in the bag along with the order. Don't forget the collard greens, he ordered. Collard greens too, his dad says, counting out change for the man. Mean scoots up a big spoonful of collards and stuff it in the cup. When Mean turns his back, I stick my finger in the pot of greens and snick a piece of bacon. The red pepper flakes his mom uses in the green burn my lips. One man do, Mean says, scooping up some dumplings, and three dot heems, he says, heading for the chicken stew with potatoes. Next, he's taking orders for sweet potato pie and black-eyed peas. May rolls her eyes at me. That's when some kids from school walk up. Mr. Kim starts speaking in English and then ends in Korea. English, English, speak English, May says again. Mr. Kim waits on his customer. Mrs. Kim grabs May by the arm and whispers something in her ear. May starts yelling. I will not apologize to him, she says, pointing at her dad. You should apologize to me. Everybody's laughing at me because of you two with your Afro-Asian, collard green, black-eyed pea, fortune cookie truck and your mixed up kids. Why didn't you two each marry your own kind? May grabs her book bag and coat and heads for the front of the truck. She sits down in the driver's seat and folds her arms tight across her chest. Mr. Kim is counting out change to the next customer. Mean takes off his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, and helps his father serve people. May's mother hands me a bowl of fried rice and an egg roll busting open with fried cabbage, bacon, and shrimp. Sit, eat, she tells me. May's parents are used to her going off. They ignore her, let her cool down. I kick back and eat my egg roll. Mr. Kim hands me an orange soda and some barbecue chicken. He and his wife are like Janae's grandmother. They will feed you until you explode. 10 people come up to the truck in the next 15 minutes. Mr. Kim is scooping, bagging, and handing things off quick as you please. And just when they think things are slowing down, here comes trouble. Kevin from school. You seen a dog around here, he says, walking up to the truck. Mr. Kim shakes his head. You must have seen it, he says, getting louder. A little bitty thing, black with a white patch over his eye. Long hair, a mutt, you know, he says, sounding serious. But I see him shooting his eyes back at his boys over there by the tree, and I know a joke is coming. Mr. Kim don't get it, but Mean does. So does Mrs. Kim. Y'all get out of here. Get, she says, waving a spatula around like she's gonna smite them. Let me, Kevin's laughing so hard he can't get his words out. Let me check out what you got cooking. I want to see if you ain't trying to pass my pooch off for chicken. He finally says. His boys can't take it no more. They rolling all over the bus stop bench laughing, telling Kevin he's crazy. Some people in line behind Kevin make a face and head for the pizza truck up the street. Mean throws his leather jacket off so fast a sleeve lands in the rise. He's off the truck, hitting Kevin upside the head. Before you know it, Mr. Kim is out there grabbing Mean by the shoulder. You can't beat down ignorance with your fists, he says. Mean is still yelling at Kevin, but he's following his dad back to the truck. Ignore them, his mother says, handing Mean a Pepsi. Kevin and his crew stand by the tree making barking sounds and saying, here, doggy, doggy. May's so quiet. I figure maybe she don't hear nothing with her earphones on, but she does hear. And the next thing I know, she jumps from the truck and heads down the street and around the corner. She don't even have no coat on. I grab May's coat and go after her. I yell and yell for her to wait for me. She keeps running. I don't try to keep up after a while. I walk at a normal pace. I figure when she gets too cold, she'll stop and get her stuff. By the time she stops, we're almost at her house. Her nose is red and runny. Her hands are so cold she can't unbend them to get her keys out. I unlock her front door and help her with her things. Once we get inside, it ain't too long before she's feeling all right. After a while, she's bad mouthing her folks. No, Ming says, pushing up her sleeves. She got a bunch of dishes sitting in the sink with steaming hot water running over them. I'm tired of the doggy jokes and the cries about my dad cheating people and the stuff about how fat my mother is, she says, almost crying. Your parents are cool, May. You know that, I tell her. May wipes her face with the back of her wet hands. Now she got a big soap bubble hanging from her nose. I wish they never got married, she says, walking into the living room and sitting down on the couch. I sit down beside her, put my feet up on the coffee table, and check out the room. There's some of everything in there: African masks, watercolor paintings of Korea, and a painting of May and Ming when they were babies. In the picture, Ming is sitting on her mother's lap. Ming is smiling and sitting on her father's lap, her tiny fingers holding tight to his big thumb. You look a lot like your dad, only darker, I say, staring at the picture. Then back at May again. May grabs a handful of her thick, wavy hair and pulls it away from her face. I look like myself, she says, turning away from the painting. Not nobody else, just me. That's the end of chapter 15. Our discussion question for chapter 15. Can you explain May's actions towards her parents? Is she being selfish in the way she treats them? And this is where you should put your answer, type your answer in this space right here. Thank you.